any case, back to my story about my bike. So I was looking for a particular configuration of components. Obviously, it needed to be a mountain bike. That's a given. But I was looking for a couple of things that are kind of hard to find a good deal on, because everybody's looking for these things. But let me show you. Take a moment here. Stop and show off the bike. Number one that I was looking for, hydraulic disc brakes. And honestly, it's probably fine if you can find cable-driven disc brakes, but one way or the other, the major point here is disc brakes. You say, Bob, what's the alternative? What wouldn't have disc brakes? I don't know anything about brakes or bicycles. What are you talking about? If you were ever a child and had a bicycle, you remember brakes that would like clamp over the tire with two pieces of rubber that kind of right in here, and it would just squeeze the rim. But anyways, you pull the coward lever and pulls the little cable, and it squeezes that down onto the rim, and it'll stop your wheel. I mean, those are fine. They work. If you happen to have a bike laying around, it's got something like that going on. I mean, absolutely. If you're just trying to get into it, want to see if you like it, by all means, knock yourself out. That's fine. But if you were like me and you remember as a child riding your bike around and all of a sudden it starts raining on you and the road's really wet, and then you try to use those brakes, they really didn't work all that great when they were wet. Anyways, disc brakes, I'm sure everybody's familiar with what disc brakes are, but there's just a little caliper with the brake pads, and it squeezes the disc that does not free spin on the wheel. So when you do that, it absolutely stops the wheel from spinning. So that's one of the things I was looking for. Something else that I was looking for was a particular size of wheel, which some folks may, by all means, hop into the comment section and tell me how wrong I am about this, but there's a couple of common wheel sizes that are in mountain biking right now, one of them being 27.5 inch, which is what I bought. And the other being 29 inch, which is just a little bit bigger, about 1.5 inches in diameter bigger. There's a lot of debate on which one you should go with. I will definitely say that I see a lot more 29 when I'm shopping around, so therein lies one of the issues I had with trying to find a good deal on what I was looking for. I wanted disc brakes, I wanted 27.5 inch wheels. I wanted to stay on the trail. That kind of happened. There was something else. What else was it that I was looking for? Oh yeah, color. You know, I didn't want a pink bike or something like that. Just not my style, you know. Honestly, that tree found me. Honestly, I'm not even a big fan of the color that I do have. This ethereal gray. I think is what Co-op called it. I like black. I like gray. I like dark colors. It worked. That's fine. Oh, hello. An interesting little switchback that I don't recall. So that's what my deal was. Disc brakes, 27.5 inch wheels. Some of that debate, I'm sure you'll come across if you start doing research, is that some people seem to think it's a little easier to control. Smaller bike. Oh man, I can already see that this giant battery thing is doing all it was meant to do and more. Oh, anyway, so I had a price point in mind, and I wanted to be in the $500 range, which, as you can probably guess from our previous conversation, is pretty darn low in price in comparison. You're getting yourself an actual decent entry-level mountain bike, and I mean, obviously something better than you would find at your typical everyday department store. So I was just hunting Facebook Marketplace because, at the time I didn't know much about the value of an LBS. I also didn't know much about anything I was doing, to be honest with you. Ooh, I did not see that limb at all. Wow. I'm glad I got all that on video. You guys can laugh at me later. Anyway, so I didn't know anything about what I was doing other than I knew enough from researching that I wanted disc brakes, 27.5 inch wheels, and I wanted to be under $500. I was fine waiting however long I needed to wait till the right deal came along. I don't know if you can see this, but like right here, there's this little lip, and then it looks like a drop that maybe somebody has dug up or out at some point in time. That'd probably be a good 2 or 3 foot drop if you were flying from up here and knew it was coming. I don't know, it's kind of coming out of a curve to hit it. That's a little tricky to set up for. Anyways, for me, I was patient, and I didn't have any problem waiting for that good deal to come along. Now, could I have gotten a better bike, a better deal on a better bike? Probably, if I'd have kept waiting. But I jumped on the first one. I saw that met my configuration requirements. Originally, this bike was what they call a 3x. It had in the front crank wheels, 3 different size rings. At the back was a 7, so it was a 3x7. It's technically what most people would call what this is. That's not really what I wanted. I wanted a 1x, but you're not really going to find a 1x at that price point unless that thing's totally trashed. Probably, maybe, who knows. It's just not likely. And that's just been my experience. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that it absolutely can't be done, but you're going to be hard pressed to find one. A lot of waiting that you could be out riding a bike that's good enough rather than perfect. And that's inevitably why I went ahead and jumped on this one. Obviously the time was right, and I needed to quit jacking around and pull the trigger and get out and start riding. You can do your research. Figure out what you like, what you want, what you don't want, what you don't care about. You know, like color. If you don't care about color, there's no need to hang around and wait on a better deal when you don't care about color because it's a pink bike or something. You just go buy it. It's fine. The chances are this is your first bike. More than likely, if you're watching this or paying any attention to what I'm saying, it's going to be your first bike. Oftentimes, when it comes to upgrading, you're much better off just going ahead and buying a whole new bicycle than trying to upgrade one part at a time. I mean, there's some obvious things that you can do that you'll probably need to do or want to do to any bike. I've made my way back to the parking lot. I survived. What time is it? Oh, I forgot to unpause my workout. Good job, Bob. Just drink electrolytes. Woo! Well, it's still somewhat cold. I'm not really sure how.